Welcome to our lecture online. Now let's explore the electric field between the capacitor plates. Of course, there's only an electric field there if there's charge buildup on the plates. So if positive plates have been pushed on one side of the capacitor, that repulsive force will then push away the positive charges on the other plate, leaving that plate then negatively charged as the positive charges have been moved away. Of course, for that to happen, these terminals here need to be connected to some sort of circuit and battery for that to occur. We're assuming that those are there. So here we have written that the electric field between the capacitor plates is similar to the electric field above an infinite plate of charge, but with one big difference. Now, the reason for that is that typically the distance between the plates is very, very small. We're talking about fractions of a millimeter in many cases for small components. So when you're somewhere in between the plates, the edges of the plates are so far away relative to the distance between the plates that from that vantage point, these plates look like they're infinitely large. And because of that, it's as if you're above, very close to a very large plate filled with charge. But the big difference is that if you have a single plate with charge, the electric field will emanate in both directions, and so the electric field strength above an infinite plate is equal to the charge density divided by twice the permittivity of free space. The symbol here, sigma, means the area charge density, which is defined by the charge placed on the plate divided by the area of the plate. So the more charge, the greater the density. The bigger the area, the smaller the density. So the difference here with a capacitor is that the field only emanates in one direction because the field will always go from a positive charge to a negative charge. Since there's no negative charges over here, there's no electric field in this direction, which means all of the electric field effect by these charges go in one direction, where here the field goes in two directions, which means the field on that side will be twice as strong. Instead of sigma divided by 2 epsilon sub naught, the electric field strength inside the capacitor will be sigma divided by epsilon sub naught, therefore twice as strong. Now, if we put in the definition that sigma, the area charge density, is charge divided by area, this can then be written as the charge divided by area times epsilon sub naught. So ultimately, the electric field inside a capacitor, when a capacitor has a charge Q on it, that will then be equal to the charge on the capacitor divided by the area of the plate divided by epsilon sub naught. So if you then think back to the definition of a capacitor, so you know that the amount of charge on a capacitor is equal to the capacitance times the voltage applied to the capacitor, then you can see that Q can be replaced by C times V, and so the electric field can be expressed as C times V divided by epsilon sub naught times A. So instead of defining it in terms of how much charge in the capacitor, you can also define it in terms of the capacitance and how much voltage is applied to the capacitor. But ultimately, this is the simple equation that defines the electric field inside or between two capacitor plates is the amount of charge on the capacitor divided by epsilon sub naught times A. And that's how we find the electric field between the plates. Notice it doesn't depend on anything except two things: how much charge is on the plates and how big the plates are. It doesn't depend upon the distance between the plates. Again, that's assuming that the distance is really small, so that any small variation in that distance really does not have any effect on the overall electric field between the plates. And that's how we know.